Hey guys, Krypt Krusher here. I always forget how many different versions of the same Skylanders there are. Okay, that's a lie. I think about it all the time and it makes me mad. But check this out. The Lightcores aren't completely useless. Collecting is a massive part of what makes Skylanders Skylanders. All of the different figurines to collect and play as, or maybe just to display them on your shelf. Either way, without the toys, it wouldn't be the same. But things cost money. Even with the starter pack, you were still encouraged to go out and buy more Skylanders, which some people just didn't like. But even the people that do enjoy collecting Skylanders definitely have their limits, and reselling the same characters with very minor differences, maybe not the best idea. Of course, I'm referring to the Lightcores. The figurines that glow up when put on the portal. Just like the reposes, the Lightcores were introduced in Giants to try and disguise the lack of new Skylanders in the game. The Lightcores in Series 2s make up 2/3 of this game's roster. Now that is bad. So I suppose we should put one of these on the portal and see what happens. The Lightcores are very nice looking, and seeing the characters in different poses is pretty interesting. There was one Lightcore for each element introduced in Giants, and the same for Swap Force, which gives us 16 Lightcores in total. And I have to admit, from the several different options, they made some pretty good choices. A lot of the Skylanders they picked work really well with their Lightcores, and it complements their design. Case in point, Lightcore Prison Break. He's sort of the mascot of the Lightcores because, well, he looks awesome. He is the perfect example of what makes a good Lightcore. Not only does his figurine look great, but his crystal design makes perfect sense to light up. And he's even on the Lightcore sticker thingy. Speaking of which, the packaging for the Lightcores is a little bit different. It has this nice sparkly border around the bottom, and of course you can see the figurines lighting up from inside the box. But for every great Lightcore, it seems like there's a disappointing one right around the corner. Lightcore Drobot is awful. Oh, I'm excited to put this bad boy on the portal. I bet his eyes glow, and maybe even parts of his wings. His character was just begging for a Lightcore, so I'm glad we... Believe me, I checked, and no, this toy isn't damaged. This is what it's meant to look like. It's just his back, and it barely even glows. I actually found a photoshopped picture of Lightcore Drobot, and it looks 100 times better here. These Lightcores range from nice looking to why did I even buy this. Lightcore Countdown has one of the most noticeable design changes, and it looks awesome. But when you put him on the portal and realise that his head doesn't even light up, you can't help but feel a little bit let down. For figurines all about lighting up, some of these only light up in one place, which is really lame. Why doesn't Hex's skull light up? Why doesn't Grim Creeper's scythe light up? Why don't Flashwing's crystals light up? It feels like the bare minimum was put into making these figurines, and it's a shame because I do like the idea. The Lightcores feel very much like collector's items, since unlike the reposes, Lightcores don't bring anything new to the table gameplay wise. Actually, I'm lying. The Lightcores introduced a brand new mechanic that completely changes the way you play. Explosion. Whenever you send a Lightcore down into the game, they create a massive shockwave damaging anything nearby. And of course, you can't forget the iconic Lightcore from that epic narrator guy. He's the best. This random shockwave thing was clearly given to the Lightcores as a desperate attempt to make them seem different and worth buying. But to me, it only makes it more obvious that these toys are a waste of money. Is it ironic that I bought 8 of these Lightcores just to make a video on why you shouldn't buy them? Nah, probably not. One difference in-game that I only noticed when making this video is that the parts that light up on the figurines also light up on the Skylander in the game. It doesn't really change much when it comes to playing, but it's definitely a cool feature. Circling back to how the reposes have their WoW pals, there is something important I need to address. In Giants, there were 4 Skylanders that were given Lightcores along with Series 2s. I think you can already see the problem here. I know that I cannot be the only person who bought Lightcore Prison Break under the impression that he was also a Series 2. Activision were genuinely so greedy that they didn't give the Lightcores WoW pals, so you still had a reason to buy the Series 2s. I feel robbed. Also, just like the reposes, you can use a Giants Lightcore in Sparrow's Adventure or a Swap Force one in Giants. Sadly, they just appear as a normal character in Sparrow's Adventure and a special in Giants, but that was kind of expected. On paper, the Lightcores are just kind of mediocre. They aren't incredibly insulting. There was only 1 per element and they were only seen in Giants and Swap Force, but the little details, like them not even being Series 2s, is infuriating. And another very funny thing to mention is that so many figurines that aren't Lightcores light up. All 8 of the Giants light up on the portal, along with the Light and Dark expansion figurines, the creation crystals, and the Giants and Swap Force battle items. This shows us that the Lightcores really shouldn't exist. If you're gonna make all these figurines light up, then why not just do this for every Skylander? Not only would it add some extra flair to the toys, but... okay, that's all it would do. But I want Food Fight to have radioactive tomatoes, and that isn't a lot to ask. And if not that, then at least the Trap Masters. They all have crystal weapons, and they literally light up in-game. How could they miss such an obvious opportunity? Yes, this is perfect for a Lightcore. Yeah, this too. Not really feeling it. And just to make it worse, I think a lot of these figurines are better Lightcores than the actual Lightcores. It's bizarre to think that there was more effort put into the Fiery Forge than most of the Lightcores, but that's our reality. It all adds up to the Lightcores feeling incredibly worthless. Also, I just need to point out that only one of Hothead's flames light up, which is dumb and lame. Luckily, Trap Team dropped the trend and the Lightcores were never seen again. But they may have been planned to return. Back in early 2017, a mysterious post was found discussing some new Skylanders shown during a tour of Activision HQ. One of them being a Lightcore Barbella. And just to make it even more interesting, we got a picture of the figurine to go along with it. Is this real? Honestly, I think so. Sure, it doesn't take a genius to be able to Photoshop glowing parts onto a Skylander, but just like every other Lightcore, this is in a completely different pose to a normal Barbella, and that doesn't look easy to fake. Either way, there was a possibility that reposes were coming back in the next game, which is a scary thought, but thank God that never became a reality. My feelings towards Lightcores aren't really as strong as the reposes, but that's because they're just so insignificant. The reposes were problematic, but at least they had some sort of purpose other than capitalizing on how much money they could make. There's not a lot of purpose beyond that, but there is some. If I'm being honest, I'm surprised I've even been able to talk about Lightcores for this long. Might be a world record actually. Well, there you have it. I've released all my negative tension with the Lightcores. And at the end of the day, I strangely like these. Useless or not, the idea behind the Lightcores was pretty solid, and whilst every Skylander should have glowed on the portal from the beginning, it is nice to have these special ones that can. Ow! What's this horrible feeling? Is this what being positive feels like? I don't like it. I need something to dislike urgently. This could work.